What's up, Nashville? Just doing some more late night overdub guitar sessions. What I'm doing here is doing some fills on the second verse and going to put a solo on here. So hang with me here. Let's see what happens. Oh, got to get it in the right spot. I don't know, what y'all think? Basically what I was trying to do there was kind of create kind of a R&B-ish kind of vibe on this. It's kind of a pop country tune. I had originally was kind of chasing a, Les Paul overdrive thing, and it was a little too much for this song. So I think this kind of feels like the right texture, the right sound, the right everything. For me, it feels pretty good. And what I was trying to do is, like, between the vocals, you don't want to be stepping on the vocals. So at the end of the phrase, I'm listening to the phrase, I'm going, okay. As it gets towards the end of that phrase, I kind of do a little fill. And turn to another phrase, you do another fill. So it's really important, as a studio player, as a live player, whatever, to know how to not completely step on the singer. Well, not step on the singer at all. That's a good way of losing the gig. So anyways, what I was trying to do there was to try and just find the holes in that verse, where maybe just add a little something. This is the second verse, so I want it to be a little bit bigger than the first verse. First verse was really kind of down and kind of chill, but I want this thing to kind of keep building, and the solo, I think, building it up even more. And so what I was playing on was kind of a little thematic thing, of the melody of the verse, over that chorus. Just playing on a familiar theme. So the listener's not listening to something that's a whole new, thing that they haven't heard yet. I think that I wanted to have something that was familiar. I want something that's thematic, and something that, like, if you're playing this at in an arena or a stadium or whatever, that you can just get out there and play this melody. I was really influenced by guys like Steve Lukather and Sean growing up, playing the real, melodic solos that just become an integral part of that song. And so that's what I was chasing. You can let me know if you liked it, if you thought it sucked. Tell me. I'm open to whatever. I'm still trying. Everybody's learning. We're all still learning. I've never. You never stop perfecting this thing, with guitar. But just a quick overview, what I'm doing here, I've got this Strat guitar. It's a built by Don Grosh. Don used to be out in Los Angeles, where I grew up. And the guy that was doing the necks for him at that time was my buddy Michael Tuttle. And we were playing a lot of those country bars together back in the day, and he was like, hey, you should check out these guitars. I'm working with this guy named Don Grosh, and he's building these really cool guitars, and it's very vintagey. He was shooting it with a nitro. I don't know if you can see, but it's really kind of checking. I've had this guitar since, before I moved to Nashville in 95, so I got this thing probably in 93, 94, and this thing has been all over the world with me. This was my main guitar for a long time, and he also built me a Telly that I love also too. So shout out to Don Grosh, shout out to Michael Tuttle. Michael is in Bend, Oregon now, and I believe Don is in Colorado somewhere now. But both extraordinary, great guitar builders, and this thing just feels like, from day one, it just, the the nitro that they shot this with was really, it breathes and and it's checking like crazy. I don't know if you can see the checking on there or not, but it's definitely been checking a lot for a long time on the back and the front. Boom. You probably can't see it. Anyway, it's cool. And what I'm doing, running it into my my old 65 Deluxe. It's all original. Well, not all original. I take that back. Had the speaker changed out a while back, and I also had the cord. The plug-in was a 2-prong, so I brought it to a guy, Kai Kennedy here back in the day, who put a 3-prong, on there to ground it. It's it's not all original now, and I think he put like some kind of Mojo Tone speaker or something in there. Really great. And my buddy Justin Butler here in town has been working on it and getting it sounding great for me again. And then I'm running into the Lightspeed and the Tim pedal. So I've got 2 kind of very light overdrives on this thing right now. So you can kind of hear. Mild overdrive, not crazy, but enough to where it's gonna, hopefully will cut through this mix, on this tune, and it will sing, like, again, it's Steve Lukather, it's Neil Schon, it's Michael Landau, all those guys from my youth when I was growing up in Los Angeles, and hearing those records those guys were playing on, and just trying to come up with those really thematic, solos. And fills, too. I think that's a lost art in Nashville, where I don't hear as much like really cool signature, guitar fills that become an integral part of the song, and like, when Dan Huff was playing on a lot of sessions back in the day, and his fills, his solos, everything was just perfect. And Brent Mason and all those guys, that were doing all that stuff in the 90s, and just, unbelievable. Love it. All those guys have been huge influences on me here. And, partially why I moved to Nashville too, because I just love all those guys and still love all those guys, and they're still kicking ass and playing great and doing all this great stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you a little, show you what I'm doing with that. And shout out to Old School Van Halen. I saw them back in the day a few times with David Lee Roth. And boy, they were just on fire back then. I'm just such a huge fan. It wasn't even as much about the flashy of Eddie's playing, which I loved that too, but his tone was so great. Let's talk about that. His tone was just incredible. His rhythm tone, his lead tone, everything was so good. And what an innovator, the things that he did for guitar, like back in the day, it was, Strats were just, single coil pickups. And he was one of the first guys that I could think of that threw a humbucker in there, and really lit that thing up. And, the variacs that he'd do, and, and cranking them up and burning up those tubes on those Marshalls, but it just sounded so, so good, man. Rest in peace, Eddie. We love you. He was such a great influence and amazing for guitar and for young guys like me in the 80s that were just learning how to play guitar and just got inspired by all that great stuff. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you. I hope you guys are having a great night. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I want to keep doing this for you. And if you like and subscribe, share it with your friends, tell your friends to come check it out. I'd love to keep sharing all this with you. But have a great night.